Hi, I'm Brian Moran, founder of Government CIO. Welcome to Government CIO Magazine.
Welcome to Government CIO Magazine. Today we're sitting down with Kimberly Hancher, CIO of U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission.
The EEOC is a small agency. We have 2,400 people that work at 53 different field sites and, of course, headquarters here in Washington, D.C., which is our largest location. So, being geographically dispersed organization, video teleconferencing is one of the most effective new technologies that we've implemented. When I came to the agency 4 years ago, the video teleconferencing software and hardware had been procured for a few of the sites, and its value in terms of reducing our travel costs and promoting collaboration across the agency had been proven. So I worked in implementing it as a technology at every field site and throughout headquarters. Here in our headquarters building, we have several video teleconferencing rooms, and we have a full function audiovisual operations center to support that technology. Well, the challenges have been in two areas, primarily in the area of telecommunications and sufficient bandwidth to carry all of our telecommunications traffic throughout those 53 sites and headquarters. We just don't have big enough pipes, to tell you the truth. Video teleconferencing, for example, is a technology that has to be timely, and there can't be any latency or interruptions in the traffic. Likewise, voice traffic over our network is problematic if there's any latency. So we've been somewhat challenged by our ability to enhance our telecommunications capability to support all of the new traffic. And I guess the second area, which has been a challenge, has been in the area of human resources. When you have so many different technologies to support, not just the standard enterprise email and mission systems, but also web conferencing and video teleconferencing and audio-visual support, and now mobile and mobile devices. Having the people that can provide support not just during the prime time day, the business day, but also when people need it at midnight, let's say, that's been a challenge as well. Shared services is really very exciting for the EEOC. As a small agency, we are always looking to be a customer of a service rather than the service provider. So in the shared services area, we're going to be looking for mobility support. We right now have BlackBerry program as our primary mobile device program, and we would be looking for shared services that allow us to introduce some choice in the government provided devices, and also much better pricing. Well, the Cloud First initiative is something that we actually started using before it became very popular. We use web meeting services through cloud providers, and it's been very cost effective. We also use a cloud-based IT service management software. Most agencies use an on-premise IT software for its call center, for its help desk, for asset management, configuration management, and that kind of thing. we've chosen a cloud provider, and we're very happy with it. Training is probably one of the areas that we emphasize with professional development for every single one of our employees, regardless of whether that person is a supervisor, a project manager, or a technician, a system administrator, database administrator, or help desk technician. The individual development plan is sort of the mechanism for planning out training. And what we've concentrated on is not just technical skills for these IT professionals, but also their soft skills: communication, relationship building, team building, and also some of the methodologies like project management and software development methodologies. Change management is probably one of the most important skills that federal managers need to develop. After taking my first technology change management class, I realized that there's a number of techniques and strategies that you have to employ to make change positive and to make it effective. In changing the IT organization, I've worked at the Commission for about 4.5 years, and we've seen quite a bit of change. We've seen a change of location, a relocation. We've seen a data center move, and we've also seen additional staffing and new areas of responsibility. So by actively working with the workforce, the staff and the managers, to make them aware of the reasons for the change, the critical success factors, and the behavior changes that might be needed. That's really the way that we've gone through our organizational growth and development. Planning IT initiatives is, I guess, sometimes called capital planning and investment control, CPIC, and then some people call it investment management, IT investment management, ITIM. And it's a discipline, and you don't get it in college. I don't think anybody's taken a class in capital planning and investment control for IT systems. So what we did was we got training for our senior managers. I'm part of our IT investment review program, and so is the Chief Operating Officer of the agency and several of our senior program executives. We went through training and we refined our skills. We brought them up to a foundational understanding about the concepts and the best practices. And we're continuing that training as we expand our management processes to cover different parts of the portfolio. Well, there's so many risk areas, and what we've tried to do is we've tried to use the FSMA processes that are required of every agency, give them serious implementation consideration, and scale them to the size and to the capabilities of our agency. So for example, in the area of continuous monitoring, which is one of the newest areas of FSMA requirements, and probably the most difficult to implement and figure out how you're going to go about doing that, I really thought about how we can be successful and add value, and it's the workstation that, the individual workstation that sits on everyone's desk that I feel is our highest risk area. And so the guidance that I've given to our security staff is to focus on continuous monitoring capabilities for the laptops that we have throughout the agency. I think the area that will impact the IT organization the most is this trend towards mobile devices. You know, in the olden days, we had dumb terminals, and we had a mainframe, and we had total control. The IT people were really king when there were data centers and dumb terminals. And now it's completely reverse. The mobile devices that we carry, and most of us are carrying several of them. I, for example, am carrying 2 mobile devices. I have a smartphone, and I also have a tablet. And the IT organization at the EEOC realizes that the consumerization of IT is a reality, and it's here. And it is something that we need to embrace and we need to support. And we're doing some really rather interesting program to experiment with mobile devices and bring your own device, BYOD, some people call it. So we have a pilot in place with about 40 people who have returned their BlackBerry and have chosen to use their own iPhone or Android device or even their own BlackBerry for both personal use and for work use. We've engaged a mobile device management service that happens to be a cloud-based service to exchange data with our enterprise email system, and we are successfully allowing people to access their email, their calendar, their contacts, and their tasks, all of that personal information through this MDM. The biggest driver in embracing bring your own device has been cost cutting. This year, the agency absorbed a significant reduction in budget, and in the IT program that translated into about a 15% reduction in our operating level. To reduce our costs, we had to reduce many of our contract services and our BlackBerry program. We considered eliminating BlackBerries, but that sounded awfully draconian. So we thought a little more innovatively, how can we support corporate devices for those who need them? And how can we support choice for people who would actually prefer to use their own iPhone? And we took a 2-prong approach. The first step we took was negotiating a rate plan optimization with our BlackBerry carrier. We found that by analyzing our usage of our roughly 500 devices, we could lower our costs by about 30%. And we took action to change all of the rate plans and executed that in March of this year. The other prong of our approach is to actually allow people to use their own device, to turn in their BlackBerry, give it back, and discontinue, bring the cost down to 0 for those devices, and allow them to use their own device. And this seems to be a very popular program. I am a member of the Small Agency CIO Council, and it's a wonderful forum for information sharing among CIOs of small agencies. We are just now formulating some committees on the popular topics of bring your own device, HSPD 12, and the logical access for using your credentials for login, and many other topics. I found that there are many times where I would love to talk with someone else who's struggling with some of the same issues. So the Small Agency CIO Council provides one forum that's very effective. And then I guess the other forum for sharing information is conferences. In Washington, D.C., we're so lucky to have many opportunities to get together with both industry and government officials in sort of an informal forum. I just attended the Government IT Executive Council's Shared Services Summit, I think it was called. And it was really eye-opening to hear, for example, what DHS is doing for their cost-cutting measures. DHS is perhaps one of the largest civilian agencies. We're one of the smaller agencies, and our cost-cutting strategies are very different. But it's nice to hear what other people are doing, and it often will spark some ideas that you might not have had on your own.